All right, ladies, we are at week 2. That is Monday the 12th. We're back to our upper body. We do have 2 parts, 5, 6, or 7 rounds, 24 alternating bicep curls, 12 one-arm rows per arm, 12 hammer curls, 12 reverse flies. Part 2 is overhead holds with knee tucks. This is to a timer, 30 to 45 seconds on. We're all resting for 30 seconds, and we're doing it 3 times, so 3 rounds per Tabata. Okay, alternating bicep curls. Looks like this. One arm rows. You can use your chair if you'd like. And make sure you switch sides. Hammer curls. And reverse flies. And then part 2, overhead hold with knee tucks. You can do 2 weights. Okay. So, alternating bicep curls. So, the number of reps is so high because you're alternating. So, essentially you're doing 12 per arm, but because we're alternating, we're counting to 24, okay? So, your alternating bicep curl is gonna look like this. You're gonna curl 1, then curl the other. You're just gonna count to 24. So for form, I was taught to turn the weight as I curl. So I start with my hands on my side, and as I curl, I turn the weight, and I end up like this, with the palm facing me. And then I rotate back down. I rotate up, I rotate down, okay? That is how I was taught to do a bicep curl. A lot of people start out and they just do this. For me, that's highly uncomfortable, but that is what a lot of people do. If that's what you do, just go ahead and do it. I think you actually hit more of the muscle when you rotate because you're getting a fuller range. So if you're here, I feel like you get stopped, whereas when I come down farther, so it's a little bit more fuller of a motion, but it's up to you. So you're just doing alternating. You want to make sure you get some kind of tempo when you do this. So you don't just, if you're doing this, number 1, the weight is way too light for you. And number 2, kind of what I talked about, the donkey kicks, is you're missing that full contraction. So you want to come up, hit that contraction, slow, lower. Up, hit that contraction, slow, lower. So it should look something like this, okay? So it doesn't need to be deathly slow, but there should be some sort of control when you do these, okay? Now we have our one arm rows. So again, what you could do is you could pull over your chair or a height, whatever it is, and use that to lean on. You could also just lean on your knee. So you're gonna be in like a staggered lunge stance. Your back leg is gonna be pretty much straight, and the weight is gonna be down by your side. You're only gonna have one weight in your hand. You are going to pull with your shoulder blade that weight back and back down. So it's going to basically come to here. So this is kind of on my hip, this is on my chest. All right, so you're pulling back, pull that shoulder blade back, down, pull, down, pull, down. Again, nice and controlled. Notice I'm not jerking up, okay? That's what people tend to do when they have a heavy weight, is they try to use the motion, but that's not really safe, especially when you're doing an arm exercise, because you could really throw your back out if you're doing all this kind of jerking motion. So you want to be nice and still, pull, think about pulling your shoulder blade, pull that shoulder blade in, and then you would just switch sides, which I know you're not gonna be able to see my other arm, but pull that shoulder blade, pull that shoulder blade, okay? You also want to make sure that when you pull up, that you're not opening your chest. So that means turning your body. You want to just keep everything the same, just pull that arm. Hammer curls. So hammer curl is just a different variation of a bicep curl. We're doing them together where your palm stays facing your side. So the weight is held the long way and you lift it the long way, okay? So that's your hammer curl, very simple. up, 1, 2, down. 1 up, 1, 2, down. 1 up, 1, 2, down. That is a tempo that you can use if you're just trying to make sure that you're going slow enough, you're hitting all your spots. This is what your hammer curl will look like. And then we have reverse flies. So I'm going to switch to my lighter set for these. So before we did our chest fly, which we were on our back, and we did those. Now we're doing reverse fly. So again, we're thinking about squeezing our shoulder blades. We're going to get in this stance, like this bent over stance. I really don't know what to call it except bent over stance. So we do a lot of bent over exercises. They all have the same stance. So you're going to have your feet closer than shoulder width apart. You're going to have a slight bend in your knee, and you're going to kind of bend forward at the hip, okay? So your back is bent forward, but your back is straight, okay? It's not hunched. So that means that you're going to push your butt out a little bit, bend at the waist, and there's your bent over position, okay? So we're in our bent over position. Your palms are facing each other. Your weights are kind of at your knees, and you're just going to lift up to the side and squeeze your shoulder blades. Okay, so lift right to here, back down. Lift, down, lift. So I am squeezing, and I am totally squeezed out when I hit this point, so I cannot possibly lift my arms any higher. Back down, okay? If you are not properly engaging your back, your arms are gonna fly really high, you're gonna go fast, you're not gonna feel it. So you need to make sure that you are concentrating on the muscle that you're working. So you want to squeeze those blades. Again, I'm pretty much locked into this position because I am fully contracted. Back down, up, back down. Notice my arms are not locked out, they have a bend to them. And I'm really hitting that top position. I'm feeling it in my shoulder blades. I'm feeling it going across, if you don't know what that is called, just the top of your back, your traps. So that's what you should be focusing on when you're lifting. And that goes for any exercise we do. You always want to know what muscle that you're supposed to be using and then focus on using it. And then are you feeling it or are you not feeling it? So that's how every exercise should go, but people so often rush through them, or they don't even know the form, or they don't even know what they're working, that they're doing ineffective exercises. So I try to point out what muscle it is, where you should feel it, how to make sure you're feeling it, and all of that, okay? So that's your reverse fly. And then for our second part, to a timer, we have overhead holds with knee tucks. So this is another exercise that's really good for your core, because anytime you have weight that is being held specifically away from your core, and then you are moving, your whole body is doing this, your muscles, they're stabilizing because it's like they don't know where you're going. So you're here, you're here, you're here. So your core is constantly working to make sure that you're in balance and that you're in place. So it actually works a lot of muscles, even though it seems like it's really easy, okay? So you're gonna hold weight above your head, and you're gonna slowly just alternate knees, just tucking them up to your chest. So tuck, lower, tuck, lower, tuck, lower, tuck, lower, okay? So again, it seems, I mean, it's not that it seems simple because your arms are gonna get tired after a while, but it's such like slow, not aggressive motion that I feel like people are like, I don't really get it. But again, you're using your arms, you're using your core, then you're using your legs. By lifting your legs, you're using your core to lift your legs, you're using your core to stabilize your arms above your head. So it's actually using a lot of muscles and a lot of your body. So that's gonna be to a timer. And that's another good one if you're somebody who has like separated abs and you can't really do like crunches or stuff like that. All right, so that's your Monday.